Hey guys, it's Niklas here from upgradetolife.com, and in this video we are going to talk about acceptance of the end wills the means. The end is where we begin. So maybe this sounds confusing to you and you're like, what does this mean? Like the end is where we begin? No, the beginning is where we begin, right? No, actually the end is where you begin when you want to consciously achieve your goals in a more effortless way, without struggling, without questioning and stuff like that. So again, in this video, we're going to talk about acceptance of the end. What does it mean? How can you do it? And I'm going to refer to Neville's lectures, and I've implemented some of his quotes to make this better explainable. So with that, let's just jump in. Now, as the end is accepted, you become totally indifferent as to possible failure. For acceptance of the end wills the means to that end. So what is Neville explaining us here? Now, first of all, the end, right? When we talk about the end, we'll always talk about the end of what is it you want to express, who you want to be, what you want to manifest, what you want to achieve, your goals and desires, right? What is the end? The question is always like, what would imply that it is already true? And then that is your end, right? What is the real end of the thing that you want? So when you accept this end and you know that is my end, right? That it already happened. It's done. That's my end, and there is no other possibility. Then, and I can really agree with Neville here, is that you start in the beginning not, but over time you start to become totally indifferent as to possible failure, right? Because you accept that end. This is the only thing that is true for you, right? And also he goes on and he says, for acceptance of the end wills the means to that end. Which means that is the only thing required is accept the end. And then how we get to the end is not our critical, analytical human mind job. Obviously, by practicing this, by getting more into those teachings, also your brain and how your mind works helps you, right? But it's essentially not the mind that is responsible for this, for us achieving the goal. It is the thing that's going on beyond mind, beyond ego. This deeper part of us, right? This awareness, I am, the consciousness that we really are. And that is why we only need to accept the end. So when you emerge from the moment of prayer, it is as though you were shown the happy and successful end of a play, although you were not shown how that end was achieved. Okay, and I also want to explain that. So when you emerge from the moment of prayer means when you come out of your prayer, but prayer is not sitting on the ground and begging for God or for any outside entity. Praying, so to say, means imaginative experience in the end. Like having this imaginal experience of you already having what you want to have, right? It doesn't mean through visualizing. It can only be you hear something in your imagination or you touch something, you smell something. It doesn't matter. It's just you recognizing already having that what you want to be or already being who you want to be. Right, that is what is meant by prayer. So, and Neville then gives an example. This is actually the same as when you come into a movie, but you come too late and you see the end of the movie. Right, I also made a video. I will link that above. It's called The Way from Desire to Manifestation. I will link that above because that explains this also. So it's the same when you come to a movie and you only see the end of the movie. You see the happy ending, but you don't know how this happy ending was achieved. You don't know all the ups and downs, the when the main character was sad and angry or stuff like that. You just see the end where they have their final result. So let's continue. However, having witnessed the end, regardless of any anticlimactic sequence, you remain calm and secure in the knowledge that the end has been perfectly defined. Which means when you stay faithful to your end, when you stay faithful to that, to your assumption, then with some practice, you will notice that you become very indifferent to outside circumstances or people telling you the opposite of what it is that you want to achieve and stuff like that, because you know that it only matters where you stand in your internal world. And eventually the outside world will follow. So a quote saying that I learned from another person is that the question is who yields first, Do you yield first, or does your reality, the mirror, yield first? When you yield first, you are a victim and you give up and you let outside circumstances dictate your state of being. But when you keep your internal state of being and the end result, right, in your internal world, you keep faithful to that, then eventually your external world, the mirror, will yield. And finally, like, give you your results, circumstances will change, everything that has to do with your goal. So the acceptance of the end wills the means. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and your dimensionally creator self will determine the means. Right? So the dimensionally creator self is the true self that Neville is referring to us. Right? It's not this body and mind that we have this like human experience with. It refers to the deeper aspects of our true being. Right? Who we really are behind the ego mask. So when you appropriate a state as though you had it, the activity of the day will divert your mind from all anxious thoughts so that you do not look for signs. You do not have to carry that feeling that some presence is going to do it for you, rather you know it is already done. Okay, which means if you shift your state, right, if you step into this new state of appropriating that you already have it, that you already have your end result, that it's already done, you lived it, you experienced it, it's true, right, and you live from this knowing, you live from this experience, and you practice this until it becomes natural to you, then you will automatically stop having all of those anxious thoughts, and you will like stop looking for signs, because looking for signs is really oftentimes like a good indicator that you don't trust, that you don't have this faith, and you look outside and you question like, oh, is this a sign? Right? Does it mean that I'm close to my goal? You decide that, right? There is no outside power giving you a sign. It's all about your interpretations, your perceptions, right, and your assumptions. So assume that everything is going your way. And also, second part is that you don't carry the feeling that some presence is going to do it for you, right? It's not that there is a separate true self of yours or a separate higher self of yours that is doing some stuff for you. No, you are in the end that. It's just that you don't know it, or you don't accept it, or you don't really acknowledge it. But again, there is no outside entity that is going to do stuff for you. It is your true underlying being that is doing it. Okay, and the thing is, right, it sounds great to hear all of this. It sounds great to hear, oh yeah, there is your true self that does this. The thing is, you can take my words and you can just like trust what I say, but in my opinion, the important thing is that you test it and you see it for yourself, that whenever you imagine something, I'm sure you've manifested some things by watching my videos, that it just somehow happens. We can't really explain why it happens, but we just know that it wasn't us with our logical human day-to-day thinking, right? It really just happened without us needing to figure out why and when and how, but it just did happen. And that's the great part of this. So knowing it is already a fact, walk as though it were, and things will happen to make it so. You do not have to be concerned about some presence doing anything for you. The deeper dimensionally creator you has already done it. All you do is move to a place where you encounter it. And by the way, this is from Neville's lecture Thinking Fourth Dimensionally, where he's explaining us that our true self actually is like this fourth dimensionally self, where there is no time and space. And that actually is imagination, because in your imagination, it knows no time or space. You can actually experience your goals and your desires right now. Close your eyes. In your imagination, you can experience that you already have it. You can experience a scene that implies that you already have it. And when you think fourth dimensionally, so to say, right, then you know that in this fourth dimension it already happened, right? It's not visible for your senses yet, but still it is existing when you think this way. So this is what I want to explain to you in this video. And when you accept this end, like Neville says here with his quotes, that is the only requirement to make it so, to manifest it. So let's see what Neville continues to say. Now, I know of no clear definition of means by which we realize our desires than to, and here comes the point, experience in imagination what we would experience in the flesh were we to achieve our goal. right? And I love the first part of that, right? I love to read between the lines because he really says, I know of no clearer definition of the means by which we realize our desires, which means, right, those principles, those kind of applications and the stuff that Neville is sharing with us, it's not that he came up with this for fun. Again, he studied ancient teachings and teachings that are like thousands of years old and explained them in a more like understandable way. And I now try them to explain them even more understandable in our 2021 language, okay? So, and he says that there is no better way, there is no better definition to explain how you can achieve your goals, manifest your goals, than to experience in your imagination, right, within your consciousness, inwardly, internally, in your internal world, in your imagination, what you would experience in your external world when you already have your goal. And then he continues saying, this imaginary experience of the end with acceptance wills the means. The fourth dimensional self then constructs with its larger outlook the means necessary to realize the accepted end. The undisciplined mind finds it difficult to assume a state which is denied by the senses. But here's a technique that makes it easy to call things which are not seen as though they were. That is to encounter an event before the course. And people have a habit of slighting the importance of simple things. But this simple formula of changing the future was discovered after years of searching and experimenting. Okay, so as you can see, there are many important parts in there. First of all, again, this is the key point of this video, right? This imagining experience of the end with acceptance, when you accept it to be true, to be done, to be already so, that is like the only thing required to make it so, right? Wills the means. And then this true self, your true self, this bigger self behind your ego, again, right? That constructs all like the way and everything that is necessary for you to encounter also that in your external world. But your mind, when you don't know this, when you're new to this, when you don't accept this, when you don't practice this, right? The undisciplined mind finds it difficult to assume something as true, which is denied by the senses. So how can you assume to be like more wealthy, more financially stable, more loved, more appreciated, wanted, whatever it may be, when there is no proof? I mean, the only way you can actually do this is to experience it in your imagination, because there you can experience it right now, even though it is not here yet. And also, he says, right, and I made this in bold because that is really true, that people have a habit of not paying like attention to the simple things. And I say like, this is not important. Like I want to try this and that and do this, right? But when you just do the simple things, I mean, for me, this sounds very simple, and actually it is simple, right? You do this formula, then you will see what will like change in your life. Just try it out. Try it for your own. And also, again, this was discovered after years of searching, not just in one day or not just for fun, but really searching and experimenting over and over again. And now we have the opportunity to learn from that and also do that for our own lives. But when you're too like lazy and you think you don't need it, then like don't victimize yourself and ask yourself, oh, like why is nothing changing? Most probably because you don't apply the teachings. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you have questions, then please let me know in the comments down below. I love to talk with you. I love to answer your questions. For more information, you can also watch my free masterclass. You will find the link for that underneath this video. And with that, I thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.